So we're going to look at Wardenclyffe Tower, Nikola Tesla's free energy design to power the world, and how that would have functioned if we take in consideration that the Earth's clay is conductive and piezoelectric, which means when pressure is induced, electricity is provided, so on and so forth. We're also going to look into the possibility that due to the fact that the Earth is a rotating mass, we are triggering the Zel'dovich effect, which is amplifying the energy via rotation. So, we have the Tesla Tower, which is basically the thing with the big cylinder on top, and inside was a coil that was plugged in to the ground all the way down to the quartz below. So when it triggered the whole thing, vibrated, pulled it, earthquake type situation where the tectonic plates were vibrated. And it doesn't have to be a massive vibration. It could be like a, hey, it's that simple. He touched it. Oh, and we get the reflective amplification of the Zel'dovich effect, reflecting back into the coil and shooting it back into the atmosphere. And also, he was suggested that we should be able to plug into the ground. If the clay is conductive, that was his power from the ground system. It's not really that complicated. They want us to believe all this nonsense and overcomplicate it, but in reality, the electromagnetic wave triggered the aluminum within the clay, and that aluminum morphed the crystalline structure of the silicate, triggering a electromagnetic effect, which in turn created the aluminum and turned it into another electromagnetic wave and shot it back at the system. At the rotation of the Earth amplified said thing. So basically he turned the Earth into an amplifier. And I mean, I showed two images from when he claimed these things, and one of those is him, a hand pumping. And I mean, does that make sense? The wave is the pump. It pumps it back in and reflects it back out and magnifies it from the rotation of the Earth. Now, back then it sounded way too complicated. They started telling people all this fucked up shit and twisting his words. A bunch of narcissistic fucking rich people that didn't want you to have free electricity. No, it's impossible. You can't do that. But 2025, we discovered that rotating mass can be used as an amplification system. And I mean, if that rotating mass is fucking Earth, it is a planetary sized fucking rotating mass. So the amount of energy that his coil would have output would have been way more than enough to power the whole fucking world at one point. And it triggered the whole fucking world. I mean, and we could have plugged into the fucking ground, had a little antenna. Woo! Right frequency, receiver, so on and so forth. It's not as complicated as we make it out to be. It is not. It is as simple as levitating an electromagnetic coil with alternating current at 200 volts hovering on a plate of aluminum. It is the same fucking thing, except we're collecting the reflection of the rotating mass, which is the planet. It's not as complicated as they say. We do not need fusion. Fusion is a distraction to get you to believe that we have to have this to get this to work, and to be honest, no, we don't. This pulls the energy directly from the Earth, and we have a planetary-sized generator. It's frustrating for me because I understand it, but to get this out to the world to where they understand it is a task. And I mean, I am basically, I lack the money, the tools to be able to do so. And I mean, for great reason. I mean, if this technology gets out and people understand it on a level, you know what I mean? I've done things to try and prove that it's the dirt is conductive, such as claiming to make gold with electrolysis and clay. If you take mud and you use 2 electrodes, the electricity flows through it, proving it's conductive, which means it can be reflective for a magnetic field. Doesn't really have anything to do with gold, does it? But it would be the reason why, you know, anti-gravity works. Is it really anti-gravity? No, it's electromagnetism. It's electromagnetic levitation off of what? The conductive surface of the fucking earth. How? Well, I mean, the earth's made of metal. 30 to 40% clay is aluminum. So, I mean, and then we have the reflective amplification because it's a piezoelectric system and it's rotating. So we have the rotation and the trigger and the crystals and the wee fountain. They have to know. I mean, it's if a inventor over 130 fucking years ago invented all this shit, and it is as simple as understanding the piezoelectric and conductivity of the clay and using the Zel'dovich effect, the fact that the earth is a homopolar motor that can be reflected and amplified over a magnetic pulse. It's more about timing and frequency, tapping into the frequency of the earth, which is like 6 hertz or some shit. And I think that's what Tesla did. And that's what we could do. So, I mean, I think it's not as complicated as we are told. And it needs further research. Much, much, much further research. And this whole alien bullshit. Why is it President Trump, you know, his uncle's the one that stole all those trunks from Nikola Tesla? And his money is so aliens, Tesla. I think it's all bullshit, to be honest. But that's just my opinion. And my opinion is equals spit, to be honest, in the full mass of things. If you want to believe it, aliens, that they're, you know, I look up at the stars and I know that there is something more than just me here. But to say that they are dominating and blah, 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 when I know about what Tesla's discoveries equal, and the fact that anti-gravity really isn't anti-gravity, it's electromagnetism. I mean, we can look up at the sky at nighttime and see the moon and wonder, well, I mean, how's that working? It's probably in tune with the fucking earth. And it's, you know, this is an electromagnetic planet. We know that. Is that? I mean, is it in the same frequency? Are we in tune? It sure as fuck seems that way. Reflective magnification, holding it in place. That's the anti-gravity. And there's also a stone in Japan or China that levitates off the ground in the same manner. So, I mean, these things exist in nature. We just don't completely comprehend how they function. So, I mean, but, I mean, it's pretty simple if you think about the fact that most of the ground I walk on is metal. Potassium is what's in trees. So when trees fall, that's what comes. Magnesium is what's in grass. It's just like you. What's in you? Iron. You're metal. You're metal as fuck, bro. I mean, that's just the way it is. And to deny these things is kind of, well, it's arrogant and childish. I mean, once you look at the fact that that's, then, you know, it functions just like an electromagnet levitating above a fucking aluminum plate. That's what holds your moon in place. That's exactly how these UFOs fly. There is no real secret to it. All the technology is available to you. It is just hidden in separate fields. I mean, who's going to look at the geology of how much metal's in this and what metal's there and blah, blah, blah. Nobody's going to look. It's all separate. There's a reason for that. When you start putting these things together, you know, I'm not a fucking well-educated college person. I'm not, but I have done research in all of these fields, from alchemy to electromagnetism to geology to ancient history, because I want to know. I mean, nobody taught me. I had to search. I've used artificial intelligence in the last couple years to help me fully understand the situation. I mean, oh, good burp. Good burp. They call those confirmation burps in the channeling world. Maybe I'm channeling and we just had confirmation. Who knows? But to say that we don't know when we have all these things that point to something, we should probably look a little fucking harder. Because, I mean, it's not like, it's just like the ether, the invisible field. The dirt's made of metal. There's no invisible field there, is there? It's just the electromagnetic field, the invisible field, is pushing down on the metal ground and it is reflecting back and holding that motherfucker in place. It's not really as complicated as one might think. And as far as these pilots not flying, I mean, if it's set up right and there's a DC capacitor of high voltage capabilities, ionic wind would push you down. That's kind of the ionosphere that we have on our planet, pushing us down. Would it function? It would function as false gravity, yes. Is it how gravity works? I don't know. But I know that it would function as false gravity and hold me in place and make sure that I don't fly a fucking part or feel the G's of the magic turns that they do. I mean, that's the simplest explanation that anyone can find. And it would work. So I have a feeling that this is the truth that is so simple that it's overlooked. And we need to give look into Tesla's work and take in consideration the fact that the ground is made of metal and conductive metal. And it's aluminum, I mean, and copper and iron and nickel. It's a gigantic electromagnet. And when I throw magnetism at it, it throws magnetism back. It functions just like an AC motor. And I think that's what Tesla figured out. And thinking isn't knowing. But all the evidence kind of, it needs more study. Much, much more study. And who else better to study it than you? I mean, you look. No one is going to be able to convince you of anything but you. And the deeper you look, the more you find, the better off you'll be. Because we've come to understand that we can't trust these rich people. They want to continue being rich and continue having you beneath them. And that's not how it should be, especially if we understand these physics and these technologies. It's very important. Have a good day. Peace be.